We're all set and ready to go. President Lavelle, whenever you're ready. Okay, we're going to get going. And everyone, we will be getting started shortly. Please be sure to turn on your closed captioning as individual captioning is available. Would everybody please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the
flag of the United States of America
and to the
republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, President Lavelle, how are we doing? Did we lose President Lavelle? All right, just looking. Okay, hold on. All right, Sarah, can you get her back, please? We'll move on this day, Wednesday. There we are. All right, we can't hear you. We have to unmute. President Lavelle, we need you to unmute your camera, unmute your mic. There we go.
There we go. All right.
Every time I'm ready to, do my job, Madam President, you pop right back and ruin my fun.
Right back in. The wonders of modern technology. We just talked about this. Good morning, everyone. We will be getting started shortly. Please be sure to turn on the closed captioning as individual captioning is available. Would everyone please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance?
We've already recited the Pledge of Allegiance. We can move on to on this day.
All right. On this day, February 10th, 2021 at 11:32 a.m., the regular board meeting of the Chicago Park District is being held remotely in an effort to protect the public's health and in adherence with Senate Bill 2135, Article 15, Section 15.5, the Amended Open Meetings Act 5 Illinois CS 120, Section 7, subsection E4, and in continued observance of the governor's orders, which includes social distancing guidelines pursuant to Executive Order 2020-73 and 74, as well as COVID-19 Executive Order number 69, which limits gatherings and encourages people to stay at home to the greatest extent possible. As such, the district has deemed it necessary to continue to hold its meetings virtually. Will the secretary please take a roll call of the commissioners?
I most certainly will. Commissioner Koldeck. Commissioner Edwards.
Here.
Commissioner Helfand.
Here.
Commissioner Netsky.
Here.
Commissioner Munoz.
Here.
Vice President King.
Here.
President Lavelle.
Here.
Quorum is present. Let the record also reflect that General Superintendent and CEO Michael Kelly is also in attendance.
Good, thank you so much. This meeting will please come to order. And first on the agenda under general business is a certificate of filing of the Chicago Park District's 2021 annual appropriation ordinance with the clerks of Cook and DuPage County. This will be marked as filed and received by the secretary. Next is approval of the meeting minutes from the regularly scheduled meeting held on January 13, 2021. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Will the secretary please take a roll call for the adoption of this matter?
I certainly will. Commissioner Koldeck. Sorry, Commissioner Edwards.
Aye.
Commissioner Helfand.
Aye.
Commissioner Netsky.
Aye.
Commissioner Munoz.
Aye.
Vice President King.
Aye.
President Lavelle.
Aye.
Motion carried and the minutes are adopted.
Thank you so much. Under acknowledging excellence, there is nothing to present. And under presentations from the departments, there is also nothing to present. Under communications and reports, there is additionally nothing to present. Next is the people in the parks section. Will the secretary please call the names of those who have signed up to speak?
I certainly will. We ask that you please limit your comments to 2 minutes. We also ask that those making comments before the board, please lower your electronic devices, including television, so that we may hear you clearly and do not experience frequency interference. Our speakers who have signed up to speak are June Finfer, David Roach, and Molly Burns. We will get June on the line now.
Thank you.
It's ringing.
Hello.
Hello, is this June?
Yes.
Hi, June. You are live with the Chicago Park District Board meeting. You may begin your comments now, and we'll get our clock up and running as well. You may begin, June.
Okay. Thank you. Hello, my name is June Sinfer. I'm a photographer and playwright. I've lived in Rogers Park and West Ridge all my adult life. Here's why I'm meeting with you today. Metro YMCA has permanently closed the High Ridge YMCA building, which for generations has served the residents of the 49th and 50th wards and beyond. Our newly formed High Ridge Coalition is reaching out to you to ask you to partner with us to continue providing needed services for families in this, the most diverse neighborhood in Chicago. For years, I've gone swimming and taken exercise classes at High Ridge, along with kids and seniors, working men and women, immigrants and longtime residents. It's been a welcoming community center for all. I've seen the recent improvements that the Y has made, and new air conditioning, heating, roof, and window replacement, as well as pool repairs. Take a look at the photos I sent to you. This useful building should not be abandoned. We believe we can continue to serve the community in partnership with other organizations dedicated to public service, such as the Chicago Park District. We believe we can raise the funds necessary to buy the building, but we need a trusted organization like the Chicago Park District to help us operate it and provide social services. I'm not an accountant, but I think it would be much more economical to use the beautiful year-round pool and building we have at High Ridge rather than to build the pool that was promised but never built at Warren Park, or a real field house in the nearby Philip Rogers Park. Thank you so much for your attention. I hope we can work together to save a beloved and essential community resource.
Thank you, June.
Thank you.
We'll release you from the call and we'll get our next speaker on the line.
Okay, thanks.
We're calling. Okay, it's ringing.
Hello?
Hello, is this David?
Yes.
Hi, you are live with the Chicago Park District Board meeting. You may begin your comments now.
Hi, my name is David Roach. I am 13 years old, and I think that the High Ridge YMCA should remain open. I used to be on the High Ridge swim team before it closed. The High Ridge YMCA has been a place of warmth to me for 11 years. I learned to swim, connected with great people, and was able to do something I enjoyed with those wonderful people. My memories are full of High Ridge. When I joined the swim team, I didn't have many real friends. Sure, I was friendly and got along with almost everyone I met, but real deep connections were few and far between. But when I joined the swim team, my friendships were deep, real, and almost immediate. I made and kept more friends than anywhere I'd been before. It was a place I could go and people I connected with right beside me. When I stepped into that building, I was home. With the one pushing me, I improved and raced to the finish line. Always thinking about how I can improve. It's just the fastest I can go. But I'm not here to talk about my one experience. What's really important is the future kids who, if High Ridge goes away, are never going to have fun, meet people, get to know themselves. Think of all the smiles that are going to be lost, the laughs nobody will hear, the missed connections. The truth is, the High Ridge Y isn't just a place to swim or work out. It's a place for people to meet, improve, and have fun, for people of all ages to get together and really be a community. So please, don't take that warmth away, not just for me, but for everyone out there who could use a friend.
Thank you, David. We'll release you from the call. You may continue viewing the meeting on the other side. And we'll get our next speaker on the line.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. And we're calling Molly. And after Molly, we will have Constance Hamadani, Michael Wasserman, and Carrie Mangubi. We're calling Molly now. Hello.
Hello?
Hi, Molly. You're live with the Chicago.
Hi.
How are you?
Great. Oh, I was just listening to David.
Yes, you are live with the Chicago Park District Board meeting. You may begin your comments now.
Excellent, thank you. Good morning. I'm Molly Burns, and I live in Rogers Park. With the closing of the High Ridge Y, one of the most diverse neighborhoods in Chicago is left without a large community center and the fitness and child-centric services that go with it. There is no other entity which offers a gym, pool, fitness room, and classes on the far north side. The largest field house is Warren Park, which has minimal programming, and the nearest pool is Wells Park, 4.5 miles or 2 bus rides away. Where are young families, teens, and seniors going to go for recreation classes and community in our neighborhood? Our proposal is to utilize the High Ridge Y building as a field house for nearby Rogers Park, only a short walk away. There is no field house there, only a small restroom hut, which is rarely open. The Y Summer Camp used to use Rogers Park with big groups of campers playing under the shade trees. The facilities at High Ridge would be a valuable asset to the Park District, as they would not need to construct a new building. For 70 years, the neighborhood and the city relied on the Y to provide large-scale social and recreational services. And now there's a huge void. To sustain equity, we are seeking a partnership with the Chicago Park District to provide daycare, summer camp, after-school programs, swim lessons, and sports programs, which the Park District provides in other neighborhoods. Our key concern is keeping the High Ridge pool open with a strong swimming program that offers to all ages, as well as lifeguard training. We feel it's important to have a welcoming place in our diverse neighborhood. We hope that Rogers Park, together with High Ridge, would offer an opportunity for expansion of the Park District's goal of serving all citizens. Will you please consider working with our High Ridge Coalition to discuss providing services and staff? Thank you.
Thank you, Molly. We will get our next speaker on the line.
Are all of these speakers about High Ridge?
Not all of them, but we do have, let me see here, 1, 2, maybe 2 or 3 more regarding High Ridge. Yes, ma'am. All right, so we'll get our next speaker on the line. Constance? It's ringing.
Hello.
Hello, is this Constance?
Yes, yes.
Hi, Constance, you're live with the Chicago Park District Board meeting. You may begin your comments now.
Hello, my name is Constance Hamadani, and I'm speaking with you today about the issues of water safety, swim lessons, and pool accessibility. The city of Chicago, with 27 miles of lakefront and beaches, has a crucial role to have facilities for and access in teaching children to swim and learn water safety around bodies of water. If a swimmer goes under the water, he or she can drown in 30 seconds, and oftentimes that person and anyone trying to save the person will lose their life. Teaching children to swim, in fact, having regular repeated lessons for all ages are necessary. Because of being denied access to swimming pools for several generations, African American children and adults will particularly benefit from water safety and swimming lessons. The very diverse community of Rogers Park is bordered on the east of Lake Michigan without any highway or barriers. Hello?
We can still hear you.
Yes, I was trying to do my...
Keep going, Constance. We can hear you.
The very diverse community of Rogers Park is bordered on the east of Lake Michigan without any highway or barriers, and High Ridge YMCA, with an excellent 5-lane heated and lighted pool located at Toohey and Western, is only 1.5 miles away. making it the only publicly accessible pool within many miles. Planned for implementation this year, the Chicago Park District will offer courses on water safety procedures on Lake Michigan beaches, including use of flotation devices and emergency alarms to save swimmers in distress. In addition to what is planned at the Chicago Park District, High Ridge YMCA has provided swimming lessons for entire families.
Please make your closing
children,
remarks.
And grandchildren. A partnership of interested parties in the acquisition of High Ridge YMCA will serve to address issues of pool accessibility, swim lessons, water safety, and ultimately be a beneficial agent in promoting an overall healthy lifestyle. We urge and implore you to help us keep and
Please make your
maintain
closing remarks.
the High Ridge YMCA swimming pool. Thank you.
Thank you, Constance. We will get our next speaker on the line. How are we doing with that next speaker? It's ringing.
Hello.
Hello, is this Michael?
Yep, that's me. Hi.
Hi, Michael. You are live with the Chicago Park District Board meeting. You may begin your comments now.
Okay, thank you for letting me speak. I'm going to speak on the assumption that it is not impossible for the Chicago Park District to take over the management of the closing High Ridge YMCA. So I'm going to explain what it means to us in case this helps. A heart has to be small. If it's too big, a heart cannot do its job. This could be why the High Ridge YMCA is called the beating heart of Rogers Park. It's a small building, plenty big for a swimming pool, a gym, kept cool for basketball, and an exercise room full of machines. If High Ridge had been bigger, I expect friendships may not have blossomed. Working out next to someone makes it easier to open your mouth and share an observation. I was born in Latvia. In the 15 years since I joined High Ridge, I met more people from all over the world than in the previous 30 years. Jack, a soldier from Scotland who swam across the Suez Canal. Tony, a carpet trader from Iran. Ram from India. Jesse, a PT expert who fixed my shoulder. Eileen, who plays cello at the Evanston Symphony, etc. Oh, Roz, a figure skater from England. People, young and old,
30 seconds remaining.
whose names I don't know, but whose sweet faces I recognize. Each has made me smile. Normally, I believe that if a company loses money, it's time for it to close. The market calls out the weak, but that's the way of nature. However, High Ridge YMCA is an exception. Smiles are precious. If there's any way at all for the Park District to take over the High Ridge Y and keep it running, please keep the heart of Rogers Park beating. Thank you.
Thank you. We will get our next speaker on the line. It's ringing.
Hello?
Hello, is this Carrie?
Yes, it is.
Hi, you are live with the Chicago Park District Board meeting. You may begin your comments now.
Wonderful. Hello, and thank you so much for allowing me to speak today. My name is Carrie Mangubi, and I am here to lobby for the reopening of our playgrounds, effective immediately. As you know, playgrounds are essential for the mental and physical health for kids and their parents, yet Chicago is one of the last major cities in the country where playgrounds have not reopened. New York City, Los Angeles, San Diego, and Phoenix are just a handful of cities that have recognized the importance of playgrounds in our communities and have officially reopened them since the start of the pandemic. Additionally, our neighbors and surrounding suburbs have reopened their playgrounds. The Illinois Department of Public Health and the Illinois Association of Park Districts have given their support as well. These cities and towns that I mentioned are not disinfecting their playground equipment. They are not policing the spaces for mask wearing and social distance compliance. They are simply asking park goers to practice safety measures. Most people in our city don't have backyards, so it is more important than ever for children to have safe spaces to climb, run, and jump. We are now in phase 4, the highest phase we can be in until we achieve mass vaccination. Indoor dining has resumed. The city is lobbying tirelessly for a return to in-person learning, which it seems like they were successful as of this morning. The group classes have been allowed to resume indoors, and from what we know about the virus, being outdoors is a far healthier option than being inside. I would much rather take my daughters to our local playground than to indoor dance classes. I question if we are prioritizing revenue-generating businesses over the well-being of our community.
15 seconds a minute. Keep going.
We can safely assume that the Chicago Public Health Commissioner, Dr. Arwady, has been consumed over the past few months by the vaccine rollout and the reopening of classrooms. She has not publicly addressed the status of playgrounds since June, and her office has not responded to a request for information. I am asking for this board to truly weigh the risks versus benefits of reopening.
Please make your closing remarks.
And to please vote to allow to follow state guidelines and reopen playgrounds effective immediately. Thank you.
Can the board hear me? Can everybody hear me now? I was having audio and video troubles before. Sorry, and sorry for not commenting on the previous speakers, but the last part of that struck me and I wanted to comment. Dr. Arwady commented as recently as yesterday that the health department is reviewing the protocols. We're hoping to get an answer shortly that the playgrounds will reopen as well. So stay tuned on that. But she did. I saw something just yesterday publicly that they are going to hopefully make a ruling and reopen the playgrounds officially. So.
Oh, that is wonderful. I did speak to one of your area managers, and she reported that the decision is being discussed for the end of March. Do you know if that decision might be made earlier?
Certainly we're in the park business. So when it comes to reopening, we're lobbying hard. I think you used the word lobbying. We are too, to get these facilities reopened. It could be sooner. I don't want to speculate too much, but I think it could be. What was your playground in particular?
I'm sorry?
I was just curious, what was your playground?
We go to a couple. The one that's closest to us is, it's on Astor Street in the Gold Coast. I forget the name of it. Gowdy Street.
Gowdy?
Maybe?
Is Gowdy,
yeah.
Is Gowdy locked?
It is locked, exactly.
Okay. I know Gowdy. It's on Astor.
Gowdy.
It's on Astor right off Lakeshore Drive.
Yes, on Astor and Scott. So Gowdy is close to us, the closest one, and we love it. It's the perfect size for my young kids. And then there's that new one over by Lurie's, but that's also behind the fire department, but that's also gated.
That's Lakeshore.
And then
Lakeshore Park.
There's the one on Lakeshore that's further east,
Seneca.
right by the lake. There was a mother in one of my groups, Facebook groups, and she got fined by the police when she was there with her 3 kids.
Oh, that's the first time I've ever heard that.
I've not heard that.
Superintendent, it's Seneca Park, and it's the new playground that's getting built. That's almost done.
Okay.
Well, I have 2 thoughts about this. One is that I do understand the desire to have the playgrounds open, and I think that we are probably soon to be able to do that. But I would urge you to recognize the fact that there are hundreds and hundreds of playgrounds and play areas that even if we made the most concerted effort to try and sanitize them, they're not going to be sanitized to the degree that you would really like because of the use. So when you take your kid there, I would advise you to do whatever you can to ensure that the equipment that they're playing on is safe, by taking your own sanitizing materials, at least until we get through with this period of time that we're in.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I don't leave the house without my, alcohol-based hand sanitizer. We always wear masks. My kids are 2 and 3 and are really good about wearing their masks. And we would go to an open park by us, but the ones that are within walking distance are gated, so we can't even get into them. And we're just really, my kids are home from school this year, and we live in a high-rise apartment building, so we have no green space around us, and would really love to be able to access the park. So I thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Now, I know that you had audio problems, Superintendent Kelly, but the whole issue of the High Ridge Y and the proximity to park space in that community is one that I think we need to address. I do think that we need to clarify for those who may not understand, and I think most people do, that the Y is not a part of the Chicago Park District structure, although we seem to be encouraged broadly to adopt the Y as a part of our Park District structure. So is there some comment that you want to make about that?
Yes, thank you, President.
Carrie, we're going to release you from the call while the conversation continues. Excuse me.
Thank you so much.
I thought Cantrice was going to tell me I had 2 minutes.
Maybe.
So anyway, I'm going to hand it off to Pat for the details. I do think the board needs to understand what's going on in the universe of Rogers Park as it pertains to facilities. Of course, as I just said to the previous speaker on playgrounds, we're in the park business. I don't ever want to hear about people not having access to a pool or water safety or lessons. I mean, I pride ourselves that we're probably the largest learn to swim program in the country, and we're certainly the largest learn to swim program for people of color. So I get the testimonies and I get the passion from the neighborhood. The reality is the Y's been closing facilities in Chicagoland for years, all over this city. And if you read their press release, it's got a lot to do with the revenues. I think COVID was probably the final straw for them. And my heart breaks for them, sincerely. But the Chicago Park District has probably a $2 billion structural deficit on the assets it has now. We simply struggle to maintain what we have right now. So I often like to say we're the last line of defense when it comes to just about any issue that comes up in Chicago. But, the fact of the matter is we can't be looked upon anytime a building comes online to be the ones that are going to take it off. Now, I know there was I could barely hear it, but there was some discussion about partnering and whatnot. Look, we're happy to have conversations with folks about problem solving. But I can tell you this, we don't have the budget or the wherewithal to take this facility on. But I do think it's important for people to know, and especially the board to know, what is going on already from a Park District standpoint and our footprint up there. So Pat, you want to just explain to the board sort of what our assets are in that area?
Pat?
Yeah, there's, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, there's already 7 park field houses within a mile of the High Ridge YMCA, including what we classify as 2A facilities, which would be Potawatomi Park and Warren Park's field house. There's a seasonal facility that was referred to at Rogers Park that's open in the summer months. It's a little D building, but 2 blocks away from the current site is Indian Boundary and Rogers Park. And our metric, the Park District metric nationally, is the standard level of service for park field houses is within 2 miles. Within 1 mile, there's 7 field houses. In regards to swimming, the closest Chicago Park District swimming pool is correct. It's Wells. It's over 3 miles, the one speaker mentioned. But we also program 3 pools within 2 miles of the site. And that would be Sullivan High School, Mather High School, and Senn High School. The metric for that we use is best practice across the country is a 3 mile radius from a site. Superintendent mentioned the buildings, the deferred maintenance based on, I'm not sure what the fair market rate is for purchase of this property, but the YMCA has publicly said that there's a $3 million deferred maintenance in the facility. I will say Alderman Silverstein has been a champion for the community. She calls us every week to see if there's something else we can do, if we can be a party to this project. One of the speakers mentioned, I believe it was the first speaker mentioned about possibly partnering. I mean, as the superintendent said, we can explore explore that. So my hope is that we'll reach out to this group, Alonzo Williams and the program staff, my folks and the operational staff, and see if there's something that can or can't be done. We'll be upfront and honest with the folks because I know time is of the essence, because I believe the Y will be listing the property within the next 30 to 60 days.
Now, I know that's not the answer that anybody wants, but that's the real answer. And we have to be honest with you about what we're facing. It sounds like at least the pool is a wonderful facility. I don't know about the rest of the building itself, but we are in a situation where we have to wrestle with trying to take care of the physical assets that we have. And that's a struggle for us, particularly in light of what we went through last year with the loss of substantial revenue due to COVID. So we're happy to entertain discussions, but I can't promise you any magic. Cantrice, are there other speakers?
Yes, there are. So our last 4 speakers are Jesse Kaufman, Jill Johnson, Matt Miller, and Preeti Raghupatruni. We are getting Jesse on the line right now. Hello, Jesse.
Hello.
Hi, Jesse. You are live with the Chicago Park District Board meeting. You may begin your comments now.
Okay, they're still talking, but I will. My name is Jesse Kaufman. Should I wait for them to stop talking?
Oh, no. Keep going. There's a 30-second delay, so we're live.
Oh, I see. Okay. My name's Jesse Kaufman, and I have lived in Rogers Park for the past 33 years and have been a member of the High Ridge Y during that time. I am a physical therapist who has served both the 49th and the 50th wards as an early intervention therapist for the state. Last month, as you all know, our community lost an important resource that provided sliding scale fitness programs and play opportunities for children and adults with physical challenges. As a Y user and physical therapist, I have seen the progress children with special needs have been able to achieve through their participation in summer camps, swim programs, and Head Start programs once offered at this Y. I have observed cancer patients rehab in the Y's workout rooms and in the pool to lose weight, gain strength, and achieve aerobic fitness. In the process, these people have regained self-confidence and hope for a healthier future. The Y has provided seniors a neighborhood setting to safely exercise multiple times during a week. We are losing a very important asset to this community, and we are looking to the city, the ward, and others to help us rebuild, replace, reestablish what was lost. The fact that you talked about partnering with us is something that we would really like to explore, and we'd like to know to whom we should talk to about that directly. The Park District's mission to provide a safe and affordable place for people of all ages to come out and play is needed in our neighborhood. When you talk about having 7 field houses in our area, 4 of them, Passion Park, Chewy Park.
Please make your closing remarks.
Chippewa, and Rogers are very minimal programs that don't provide equity for the physically challenged in the northern part of this ward. And we would really like to talk more about partnering.
Thank you.
Who would we talk to about partnering? Who should we contact?
Pat, what's the best way, do you think? Are we going to coordinate through the alderman's office?
We could do that, or we'll just work with the region manager and we'll get the group together. It seems to be a program-based question, so we'll go that route. Or Tiffany, I'll have Tiffany reach out and set it all up.
All right, we have all the speakers and contact information, right?
10-4.
Yes, we do.
Okay, good.
All right, thank you,
Thank
Jesse.
you.
We'll get our next
Thank
speaker
you.
on the line. It's ringing.
Hello. Yeah, this is for Jill Johnson. I'm her husband. She just was in a meeting, so she wants me to speak on her behalf.
Okay. Please state your name.
Sean Andrews.
Sean. Okay. And I know Jill had spoke about little Eleanor.
She's shy. She doesn't want to say it, but she told me what she wants me to say.
So she told you. Okay. So commissioners and superintendent. Our little speaker, Eleanor, is about 6 years old, and she's a little shy. So she wrote down everything for her dad to convey to us. So you may begin your comments now. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you so much. And both of our kids have been very involved at the Y. My daughter, Eleanor, is 6, and she's just been learning to swim there. And she said this is what she told me to say, which is that the YMCA makes people happy and teaches me to swim. I don't know how to swim, and the only place I can learn is at the pool at the Y. I was learning to swim at the pool, and I need the YMCA to stay and bring joy. And my son, who's 10, has basically kind of found himself at the Y. He started swimming when he was much younger, but it was only when he kind of found out that he could join the team, the Dolphins, and he started swimming with the Dolphins when he was about 8, and we thought, well, this would be just a fun thing for him to do, but he ended up making it to state 2 years, and didn't get to go last year because everything shut down right at the end. But he was just hearing the comments about the pools that are available at Sullivan and other locations nearby, and he just sort of his comment was that there isn't a community there. There's not a community of people. There's not a sort of group that he can swim with. And he said his comments were that the park district should take over the Y so they can stay open. The Y is a community, and the pool is the only place to swim with real friends. And that's certainly what he's found there, is a place to swim with real friends. And it really is a tragedy that they're having to shut it down. And I hear the comments about budgets and things like that. I don't think those sort of ring hollow to the ears of children. So I'll just hope that we can find some other solution for the people in this area. It is a very diverse area, and this is one of the only places that a lot of kids can learn to swim.
Please make your closing remarks.
So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. All right, we will get our next speaker on the line. It's ringing. Hello, is this Matt? Matt?
Hi there.
Hi, Matt. You are live with Chicago Park District Board meeting. You may begin your comments now.
I greatly appreciate your time here today. My name is Matt Miller, and I'm here to restore our children's access to Dunbar Park for soccer practices and games. When I moved here 11 years ago, I was immediately disheartened to find a lack of soccer clubs in Chicago's South Side. I founded Chicago Kick Soccer Club in 2010 so that kids in our neighborhood would have the same opportunity that I was afforded many years ago growing up in England. We are one of the very few soccer programs in the South Side of Chicago. Today, we serve over 750 children. I am proud of our program's diversity, which is a true representation of Chicago's South Side. We are ethnically and economically diverse. In 11 years, we have never turned a single child away of their inability to pay. We provide financial assistance to over a third of our families we serve, including many of who are unable to pay anything. We have been practicing and playing at Dunbar Park since 2010. To our disappointment, on January 26, 21, I was informed that starting this spring, a new soccer organization that recently partnered with a Northside soccer club is given priority over us at Dunbar Park, which has been our Southside home for over 10 years. This new organization is run by a former affiliate of Kicks, who previously served on the Chicago Park District Board of Commissioners. Chicago Kicks families were dismayed to learn that as we severed our relationship with this person, that our access to the park was reduced by 60%. Further, they were given greater access to the new turf field while we were given the grass side. To the best of my knowledge, we are being displaced by a Northside club with players coming from the North Side to Dunbar Park, and it is unlikely that they've enrolled enough players from our South Side to justify their excessive Dunbar space needs. I see this as a bold move to limit our club access to Dunbar, eventually boxing us out of our long-held relationship with Dunbar. The current proposed schedule will not allow us to continue to provide the services we have provided our Southside children for over a decade. I am here to request that our long-standing access to Dunbar Park be restored to our Southside families, where for the past 10 years we fully utilize a 6-day schedule for practicing games. We need all of that time back to serve our full community of children. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Can I just say, obviously, we're very, yeah, obviously, Alonzo was going to speak to it. He's having audio problems. So Alonzo's going to give him a call. We obviously know these groups very well. We've been a long-standing partner with Kicks, quite frankly. Alonzo's got your cell. He's going to call you and see if we can continue to work through this situation.
Thank
you so much. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Matt.
To see it resolved.
Well,
thank you very much.
Avis, this happens. Groups get big and then they split. This is very, and we'll try to mediate the best we can, what's best for the kids and for the neighborhood. Because that's what's going on here. It's two organizations. It was one organization. Now it sounds like it's two.
And the new organization takes precedent over the old organization?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. What takes precedent is that we work with everyone to try to do what's best for the public and try to maximize the use of the space.
Okay. Please let me know how this works out.
Yep.
Please.
I know, Zoe, I know you can hear me, Zoe, but just keep the president and I in the loop on what's going on with you and Art in the groups, okay?
Mike, please give me an update as well.
Yep, I will.
I'm familiar with this groups, both of these groups.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll get our last speaker on the line.
One more. Okay.
Last one. It's ringing.
Hello?
Hello, is this Preeti?
Yes, this is she.
Hi, Preeti. You are live with the Chicago Park District Board meeting. You may begin your comments now.
Okay, great.
Whenever you're ready,
Hello?
Preeti, we can hear you. Don't worry about what you're hearing in the back. That's a 30-second delay. You may go.
Great. Hi, I am a pediatrician from Chicago. My name is Preeti Raghupatruni. I would like to advocate for all my patients and for children throughout Chicago to open the playgrounds at the Park District. Playgrounds are essential. They often provide a safe and quality, affordable space that are accessible to a myriad of socioeconomic backgrounds and have traditionally been a key component to combating inequities which the tragic pandemic has widened. I advocate to open the parks because from the data and research, there's very little evidence that COVID-19 spreads through high-touch surfaces. Even in the COVID-19 medical unit, none of the high-touch surfaces had detectable virus growing without deep cleaning in between. There has a theoretical risk that virus could live longer on plastic and metal surfaces in a cold environment, but an outdoor playground with masks is much safer than an indoor play, which many are resorting to, or even worse, having no physical activity at all. The lack of physical activity is having lifelong consequences in our children. I work primarily in a Medicaid population, and my patients are gaining 30 to 60 pounds this year. These children do not have access to any space for physical activity. The weight gain likely will take years to combat if it can be combated at all, which will eventually impact their cardiovascular health, meaning higher risk of heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and even death. Outdoor play and physical activity has positive effects on mental health, and we know the incidence of anxiety and depression are skyrocketing, not only in our children, but our parents. Access to playgrounds are an invaluable resource for the development of a child. The ability to learn how to navigate a swing or a slide affects all developmental domains, including motor and cognitive skills. Given the aforementioned reasons, in my medical opinion, there is no evidence to support keeping the parks closed, given the lack of growth of virus on high-touch surfaces, and conversely, a detrimental effect on health if the parks remain closed. Hence, I humbly plead the city to consider opening the parks to combat the inequities, preserving development, and most importantly, improving the physical and mental health for our children in the city of Chicago. Thank you.
Thank you, Preeti.
Thank you.
Thank you to our speakers. Your comments have been received, and someone should be reaching out to you to address your concerns if follow-up is required. We will now proceed with the remaining agenda items for today. Under unfinished business, there is nothing to present. Under new business from the Director of Facilities Management, there's authorization to enter into a contract for the supply and delivery of plumbing supplies, specification number P20006. May I have some information on this, please?
Good afternoon, President Lavelle. This is Commissioners and General Superintendent Kelly. My name is Mark Reed, Director of Purchasing. It is recommended that an order be entered authorizing the General Superintendent or his designee to enter into a contract with Littman Industries and Atlas & Associates for the supply and delivery of plumbing supplies district-wide. The vendors were selected pursuant to a publicly advertised invitation for bids. No work may commence and no payment shall be made prior to execution of a written contract. The Department of Facility Management maintains several hundred buildings and facilities which have heavy use and require constant upkeep and maintenance. This upkeep includes the services of companies to provide plumbing services, plumbing supplies on an as-needed basis year-round. Having these contracts in place would allow the Department of Facility Management to meet its operational needs at a fair and reasonable price. Additionally, the supplies are varied and required for both indoor and outdoor maintenance, including faucets, sprinklers, outdoor drinking fountains, pipe of all types and sizes, toilets, water mains, and water heaters. There's a total of 25 categories for this award. Littman and Atlas submitted the lowest responsive and responsible bid for these categories. Littman and Atlas & Associates have the experience, capacity, and ability to provide these commodities to the Chicago Park District required in this contract. Littman identified one City of Chicago certified MBE for 25% and one WBE City of Chicago vendor for 5%. Also, Atlas is a county, Cook County certified MBE and identified one Cook County WBE for 10% participation. Therefore, it is in the best interest of the Chicago Park District to award Littman Industries and Atlas Associates the contract for supply and delivery of plumbing supplies.
Is it direct? I'm sorry. Is it direct participation for the MBE and WBE? Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. For both Littman and Atlas, it is direct participation.
Okay. All right. Are there questions or concerns on the part of the board, my fellow board members? If not, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Will the secretary please take a roll call for the adoption of the matter?
I certainly will. Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Helfand?
Aye.
Commissioner Netsky?
Aye.
Commissioner Munoz?
Aye.
Vice President King?
Aye.
President Lavelle?
Aye.
Motion carried and the matter is adopted.
Thank you.
Thank
From
you.
the Chief Financial Officer and the Treasurer, a resolution authorizing the reimbursement of expenditures. We'll hear from Steve Lux.
Good afternoon, President Lavelle, Commissioners, and Superintendent and CEO Kelly. For the record, my name is Steve Lux and I'm the CFO of the Park District. Before you today is a request is made annually to approve a resolution which is required by the Code of the Internal Revenue Service for tax-exempt financing. The resolution acknowledges that the district has a capital improvement plan for 2021 in the amount of $32 million, and that the district finances this capital plan using tax-exempt bonds that are typically issued at a later date. The IRS governs the governing body, or IRS requires the governing body to officially acknowledge it is the intent of that body to allow reimbursement from the proceeds of a tax-exempt bond. This official intent allows us to later reimburse our operating funds, which advance the monies for the capital costs. In addition, the approval will allow the capital planning department and the budget office to identify projects to be loaded in the budget system and start the procurement process. This resolution does not give the district the authority to issue the bonds. Instead, I will come back to the board at a later date asking for that approval. Are there any questions?
Are there questions or concerns on the part of the commissioners? If not, then may I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I'll take another roll call.
Thank you.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Helfand?
Aye.
Commissioner Netsky?
Aye.
Commissioner Munoz?
Aye.
Vice President King?
Aye.
President Lavelle?
Aye.
Motion carried and the matter is adopted.
Next,
Thank you.
also from Mr. Lux, agreement between the Chicago Park District and the Chicago Yacht Club.
Thank you, President Lavelle. So before you today is a request to approve two agreements between the district and the Chicago Yacht Club, in which the club will pay the district to have the rights to operate, maintain, and replace certain facilities and equipment in Monroe and Belmont harbors, as those previous agreements have recently expired. The agreements are each for 10 years with the ability to extend them for additional terms. The club will pay $40,000 a year for the use at Monroe and $33,000 for the use at Belmont. The district has had a long relationship with the Chicago Yacht Club, as these arrangements go back more than 60 years. The club has been a great partner with the district. As part of the reconfiguration of Belmont Harbor, due to changes that had to be made to the Lakefront Trail, the club donated over $500,000 of facilities and equipment to the Park District, and the club incurred over $1.2 million in moving their houseboat called Belmont Station to its present location. In addition, as part of the previous agreement at Monroe Harbor, the club at its cost constructed a public service building that houses public restrooms, harbor and tenderboat offices. I would also like to acknowledge the officers of the Chicago Yacht Club who were instrumental in helping navigate a safe, timely reopening of the harbors during the summer of 2020. They worked diligently through the pandemic with the district, state, and city elected leaders to share best practices and advise on the reopening of the harbors. Their recommendations form the backbone of the state and municipal regulations for boating, which kept public health and safety criteria front of mind, while also balancing the need to minimize the revenue loss due to the delayed opening of the harbors. Also, the club, through its foundation and sponsorship of regattas, provides various community outreach programs, from kids with special needs to working with the Boys and Girls Club, and they also provide grants to Chicago children in need who are seeking to improve their sailing skills. The club has been a great partner of the district in furthering the efforts of recreational boating. The club has had one of the largest junior sailing programs in the United States, which aligns with the district's goal of educating and training people on sailing, thus providing assistance in developing the next generation of boaters. The sailing program is open to kids from all over the city, and in 2020 successfully had over 500 kids participate without one COVID incident. Are there any questions?
If there are none, do we take these separately or do you want to do them together?
Yes, we're going to read them into the record separately and take a vote. So we'll start with the first one. Chicago agreement between the Chicago Park District and the Chicago Yacht Club for Belmont Harbor. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. All right, if there's no objections, we'll apply a favorable roll call vote from the prior matter to this matter. Any objections?
Hearing none.
Motion carried and the matter is adopted. And so for the next one, also agreement between the Chicago Park District and the Chicago Yacht Club for Monroe Harbor. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. If there is no objection, we'll take if the last favorable roll call vote from the prior matter to this matter. Any objections? Hearing none, motion carried and the matter is adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we were slated to hear from the Director of Cultural and Natural Resources regarding neighbor space. That item will not be heard today, and we will move right along to the next item from the Director of Cultural and Natural Resources, authorization to enter into a contract with Chicago United Industries Ltd. for the supply and delivery of athletic field preparation materials.
Good afternoon, President Lavelle, Commissioners, and Superintendent Kelly. I am Kathy Breitenbach, the Director of Cultural and Natural Resources. It is recommended that an order be entered authorizing the General Superintendent or his designee to enter into a contract with Chicago United Industries to supply and deliver athletic field preparation materials. This contractor was selected pursuant to a publicly advertised invitation for bid. No work may commence and no payment shall be made prior to the execution of a written agreement. This is sort of a bread and butter contract for our operations. We have over 700 baseball and softball diamonds around the city of Chicago. This contract will enable us to purchase ball field mix, turfus drying agent, chalk for lining the fields, and that sort of thing. It's a new contract. Chicago United is not the incumbent, but we've had other contracts with them that they have performed favorably on. It's a one-year term with 4 one-year extension options, a not to exceed amount of $126,643, and the minority and women-owned participation is 25 and 5. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Is it direct participation, or are they doing something unrelated to the contract?
I'm gonna ask Mark Reed to answer that.
Madam President, all participation is direct. The MB is 25% of direct participation, and the WBE is 5% net direct participation.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
If there is no objections, we will apply the last favorable roll call from the prior matter to this matter. Is there any objection?
No.
Hearing none, motion carries and the matter is adopted. From the Director of Planning and Construction, authority to enter into a lease with the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District for a new park located at 12200 South Paxton Avenue. We'll hear from Heather Gleason.
Good afternoon, Madam President, Superintendent Kelly, and Commissioners. This item is asking for authority to enter into a lease with the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District for the property known as Dead Stick Pond. The action will allow our natural resources team to add up to 78 acres to their goal of reaching 2,020 acres of natural area in the city of Chicago. The lease with MWRD is for 39 years for a total of $10. If we could go to the next slide. So this slide just shows the location of Dead Stick Pond in the city. It's located at 122nd and Paxton Avenue in the South Deering community area. On the right, in the red, illustrates the pond area where our natural resources staff will partner with Audubon Great Lakes to start a comprehensive wetland restoration project. Restoration of the natural sites and access to open space has been a high priority in this area of the southeast side. The Dead Stick Ponds location is also a high conservation priority in the Calumet area for residents and has been a goal in 2 major plans in the area, the 2005 Calumet Open Space Plan, as well as the 2019 Conservation Action Plan for the Calumet area. Work is anticipated to start this year. And with that, I'm happy to take your questions.
Are there questions or concerns from my fellow commissioners? If not, then I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
If there's no objection, we will apply the last favorable roll call from the prior matter to this matter. Any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. The matter is adopted. From the Director of Planning and Construction, authorization to enter into an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Chicago and the Chicago Park District. Again, Ms. Gleason.
Thank you. Yes, this item asks for authority to enter into an IGA with the City of Chicago for Arthur Ashe Beach. It's an area that we've really been monitoring closely this year as we have had lakefront damage due to high lake levels and high wave activity. In this particular case, the Chicago Department of Transportation would undertake the contract for us on our behalf to stabilize this area. The action asks for the authority to transfer $500,000 to the city, with the city contributing a matching $500,000 to this effort. Looks like we don't have our PowerPoint up, but if we do, I can show you a couple of the slides that some of the areas that were experiencing erosion in this particular area. So if we could go to the next slide, let's see if I can get those pictures up for you. Okay. maybe it's not going to work for us. In any case, we've seen a lot of slippage along, you can advance to the next slide. That's just where the beach is located. There we go. So these are some of the existing conditions that we've been seeing at Arthur Ashe Beach. So it's at East 74th Street and South Shore Drive, for those of you who don't know where it's located. You can see on the left, there's an image taken looking westbound from the water, where you can see the revetment starting to slip there. And then in the middle photograph here, we really are looking sort of southbound from 74th Street. And you can see that the revetment stone edge is starting to sort of separate from the sidewalk. And it's getting really dangerously close to the playground as well. And then the final image on the right is actually the street end of 74th Street itself. And you can see that a lot of the armor stones have been moved. And despite, challenges with putting up fencing and other things, the lake continues to really have an impact on this particular area. And so essentially the scope of work that CDOT would undertake on our behalf would be to prepare the site, demolish the failed revetment, salvage any existing concrete blocks, make sure that the playground retaining wall remains intact, and then fill in any eroded parkland area behind the failed revetment, and also adding stone to make sure that we're protected from erosion here. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions.
Any questions?
None? Nope.
All right, so then, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
If no objection,
All right,
we'll apply the
then
last
we'll
favorable.
apply the last favorable. Go ahead, Cantrice.
Roll call vote from the prior matter to this matter. Any objections? Okay, motion carried and the matter is adopted.
Thank you. All right. And last, from the Director of Planning and Construction, authorization to enter into a contract with SMNGA Architects PC for design and construction administration services for Reese Park, number 123, specification number P16015-108. Ms. Gleason.
Thank you, Madam President. So at the last board meeting, we brought a request for authority to enter into an IGA with CPS to add an elementary school to the back of our Reese Park Fieldhouse. As part of that effort, the Park District will receive $10 million in city TIF money from the City of Chicago in order to renovate our Reese Park Fieldhouse. And this month, essentially, this action is asking for the authority to enter into a contract with SMNGA Architects to design our portion of the fieldhouse. The amount of the contract is not to exceed $788,350 with an MBE of 49% and a WBE of 5%. If we could have the next slide, please. So this just shows where Reese Park is located. Again, it's at 6100 West Fullerton Avenue in the Belmont-Cragen community area. And there's an aerial of the park on your right. And the next slide. Thank you. So we wanted to show a little bit of the ways in which the Fieldhouse will benefit from these actions. So some of the images on the left show a few of the challenges. You can see at the entrance there at the top photo, we have stair access. We do not have ADA access. And so one of the main steps that we'd be taking in this renovation would be to add an ADA ramp on the front of the building to make it more ADA accessible, as well as many other ADA improvements in the building itself. So there will be an elevator that connects all 3 floors. We are adding a lift area in the stage in the auditorium on the 3rd floors to make sure that the building has access for ADA improvements as we go forward with this renovation. Additional interior improvements include a new kitchenette on the 1st floor for the community to use, a reconfiguration of the club rooms. So you can see sort of the room in the middle picture there is where a lot of community meetings take place. It's pretty small just because the Fieldhouse was, built so long ago. It's almost 100 years old. A lot of the rooms are sort of closed off. And so the idea would be to enlarge the community rooms for the community to use them. And then we would also just make the space more efficient with new bathrooms and a new office for our park staff as well. If we could go to the next slide. So this image shows the outdoor site plan. And again, we're sort of at the corner of Mead and Fullerton Avenue in the southeast corner of the park. So you can see in the dark gray volume is sort of the new school volume that would be attached to the back of our field house, which is shown sort of in the very corner of the picture there. And then in addition, some of the newly renovated outdoor spaces. So we're going to be able to upgrade and repair our outdoor spray feature with new equipment. There will be a new parking lot that's built as part of the school project that our staff will get to use as well. And then as part of this contract, we'll be also looking at improving masonry, windows, as far as our $10 million in TIF will take us in order to improve our field house and our building envelope as well. And with that, I'm happy to take questions. Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing. So I mentioned in the beginning that this particular contract had a 49% MBE and a 5% WBE. And it's unique to have something that high in percentage, which we think is really terrific. And one of the ways that the architecture firm was able to do that is they partnered with a former architect, which is a city-based architecture firm, an MBE firm, and they are getting 25% of the design work on our building. So all of the MBE and WBE are direct participation, and we're really happy to be able to achieve that high percentage. They were actually able to hire an additional staff person as a result of the work that we're doing with them.
Great, thank you so much. Are there questions or concerns? Comments? If not, then I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
If there's no objection, we will apply the last favorable roll call vote from the prior matter to this matter.
Motion carried and the matter is adopted.
Thank you so much. That concludes our board meeting. I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you, my fellow board members, for attending. Please be safe and well. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank
Goodbye, everybody. Motion carried. Matters now adjourned. Have a good one.
Meeting is adjourned.